Hello, Zeb Aurelios from Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to Inside the Force. Carabas. Gotta go, Hera's here.
It is a period of Star Wars mania, as new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inside the Force. Dave Cottingham here with me, Casey Cooley.
Hello, everybody.
We are recording this episode after after the dust has settled now.
Yeah.
From both D20.
Thick dust.
Wait, D20.
D23.
Sorry, not D20. D23. There's a store named D20 here. That's D23 and Comic-Con, which just wrapped up today. Lots to talk about. The last show we did was the start of D23 when they had just released like the model of the Star Wars land.
Yes. Yeah, which is now called
Galaxy's Edge.
Yes.
Star Wars
Awesome.
Galaxy's Edge. So, of course, after we recorded that episode, the big thing that dropped, which we'll start off by talking about, which is the BTS, the behind-the-scenes video, somewhat in tradition of what they did for Force Awakens.
So far, they had even Rogue One. They had one too.
Oh, they did. Actually, you're right.
It's
they did.
a tradition now.
Yeah, so we can expect that every Comic-Con,
Yeah.
basically. But that, well, because see,
for every.
but see, my feeling was that they didn't do it at Comic-Con because of D23.
Probably, yeah.
Because D23 was not last year.
Yeah.
So Rogue One was at Comic-Con last year, right? So not a huge presence of Star Wars at Comic-Con.
No, but the books got some.
Del Rey was huge
Del Rey
there,
got some good stuff there.
which we'll get into. But yeah, other than that, there's just a lot to talk about there. Not huge news, so we'll just go ahead and dive into. Let's dive into D23 first.
Yeah.
And talk about the behind the scenes case.
It's good, man. I've been trying to, compare it to the other ones that we've gotten. There really wasn't. There was nothing revealing. I haven't been seeing anybody dissecting it, really, because there's nothing to dissect. I don't think.
Well, I think allows me to play.
It's funny because it started off weird. I was watching on YouTube, and that first shot happened, and I thought it was like an ad for something.
I did too.
I was like, what is this? Oh, it's the behind the scenes.
Yeah,
No, it's pretty. It was great. I don't know if there was anything revealing in the previous ones or not. Like anything to dissect, but this one, it was just really the actual behind the scenes portions of it where they were interviewing the cast. That's always the greatest part of these reels.
right.
Hearing them talk about it, and of course it capped it off with Carrie Fisher at the end, which was a wonderful touch. But when we got new stuff, we did, without saying, we did get some new shots, and whether it was shots from the actual movie, which I don't think, it was mostly behind the scenes shots and shots from the creature alien department, and all the props and all the animatronics. Once again, is phenomenal looking. Got official looks of the Porg creature, because that was always rumored, and we saw some stuff on set and some talks about it here and there. But we got the official look of the Porg, little penguin type bird on Octo Island. And I'm trying to think what else. It's actually been a few days since I've watched it, but really good.
It was definitely the creatures.
Yeah,
I think
Canto Bite creatures.
I think that was the biggest thing I read just on social media was people kind of dissecting how many practical elements there were again, and of course dissing Lucas again with not doing that in the prequels and blah blah blah. But I mean,
why don't you hand me that violin? You guys are hogging it too much.
Yeah. So and of course the big thing for me was they just reiterated more about Rian Johnson's story.
Yes.
Like Hamill saying, I didn't know they could do anything else with Lucas, and then all of a sudden, here's this story.
Yeah, he thought he knew Luke Skywalker until this time. Which Ryan, again, to reiterate, Rian Johnson, he did write Episode 8. He wrote this movie.
He did.
Which I think is a great combination to get whenever you can get that. Phil Lord and Chris Miller, they didn't write Han Solo. Lawrence Kasdan did, and some say that was probably one of the causes of controversy and conflict was their two story visions collided. But when you get a director and a writer that is in one person like Rian Johnson, I think you bring a lot more creativity and a lot more, for I guess lack of a better word, innovation to the Star Wars storytelling traditions. And J.J. Abrams, he didn't really, he didn't write. I guess he kind of wrote. Is he credited as a writer for Force Awakens?
Yeah, I think him and Kasdan wrote the final script.
Yeah, they kind of took it from Aren't There and revamped it a bit. But of course, they had to play it safe. But this is going to be our first. And Gareth Edwards didn't really write Rogue One. It was Chris Weitz.
No, that's right. Yeah, he did not write.
So this is the
Rogue
first time so far in this new batch where we've gotten the director/writer combo.
Mm-hmm.
Since George Lucas did that. But I'm very excited to see what the cast is saying is so new about it. I'm excited to finally see it, and we've already seen some wonderful new images, and the visual style seems to be unique in a certain way, but still feel very Star Wars, and I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, I am too. I think this one. I'll tell you what. This one was the first one. Besides, first one of the three, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was really moved by this behind the scenes. I don't know. I was tearing up a little bit because this. Obviously the Carrie Fisher effect, but just. You felt just the way they were talking about it. This felt like there was a full. Just the passion for this film that they're making was far above and beyond. Because I think if you think about it, Force Awakens. It's the first time these people are getting together. You're only returning cast, right? Or the three mains. A little bit with Peter Mayhew and Anthony Daniels, but
yeah.
And it's so new, and it's really kicking off the whole. So I felt like you almost felt like there was a lot of pressure on that film, right? Whereas this one, it's like, all right, Star Wars is successful again, and they're just killing it with everything. Rogue One was even good, and it's like, let's just have fun doing this film. I feel like that was portrayed a lot in this, in this behind the scenes.
Some dancing, a lot of dancing stuff.
Yeah, right. Fun. So I just think I just think a lot of, it's just a different mood going into this film with them returning and knowing where the story's going. And I'm not sure they know exactly where it's going with episode 9, but it's like, what this story is. So, and that's gotta be, it's gotta be difficult too. They successfully pulled that off with the original trilogy because there was 3 different directors as well with that, and I think even different writers as well, right?
For the original trilogy,
yeah.
Lucas and some other dude did the screenplay for Star Wars, and then Kasdan did Empire.
Yeah,
and
who did Return?
Yeesh, I cannot even remember.
I'm
a bad Star Wars fan.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if I ever knew who wrote.
Definitely Richard Marquand. I don't think he's a writer.
He just directed it. Might have been Lucas and Kasdan or something like that again. As Casey looks that up, that's horrible.
That's okay. Hey, listen, guys, things slip through the cracks with us. It's okay. We're human. It was Lawrence Kasdan and George Lucas.
Yeah, okay.
Did the screenplay. Lucas did the story, of course. But
yeah, Lucas and Kasdan. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards.
Yeah.
Kasdan did Empire, right? By himself? Yeah. I think he did it by himself.
By himself.
And then Kirshner obviously directed it. So, but Lucas, that's the thing is Lucas was there always.
There's Lee Brackett.
And Lawrence Kasdan.
Yeah. And George Lucas did the story.
So Lucas, that's the thing. The story was there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But see here, who's the story? Who's doing the overall
marking it? Yeah.
Besides Kennedy, I'm assuming.
They've got to have the end
and
result.
The story group. Obviously, the story group is the ones that are kind of making sure everything kind of.
I mean, they got to know how it ends. Like, okay, these guys, this side wins, this side loses. These guys survive, these guys don't. Although that's changed now, perhaps with Princess Leia, General Leia.
True.
That definitely will change certain plot points. I think they'll probably just have to reroute it now, but to still get to the same end goal. So they do. They have the overarching story, but yeah, the details for episode 9 definitely are in the clouds. At least on our side, we don't know. They may know now. Who knows? Maybe they're still figuring it out.
Yeah, because here it's like, with Jedi, it was how do we get to this? The Civil War is going on. How do we get to the rebellion winning against the Empire?
Yeah.
Episode 3, it was obviously just you're getting to the fall of the
Exactly.
Republic.
Yeah.
But here it's like, what is because the good guys were in charge already. Mm-hmm. It's like the First Order is the one that's kind of, so is it defeating the First Order is what we're getting to is finally finally establishment again of the Jedi Order.
And that is the deeper arc because yes, it's the big battle of First Order resistance, but then on a character level, this is a story of Rey and Kylo. So the bigger mystery, the bigger reveal will be: is Kylo going to survive? Is Kylo going to go back to the light side, or is he going to stay to the dark side? Is Rey? Could she go to the dark side? Will she complete a training? Will she be trained as a Jedi? Will she complete that training if she does? And who are her parents? And will she have that hole in her past kind of filled? So that those, in a sense, that's what really drives me is to figure out these characters, and probably many other people, mostly everybody else, probably. But then, that overarching resistance, First Order. That's always the big flashy popcorn kind of attraction. So we all have to assume the resistance will win. But on the deeper level with these characters, Kylo and Rey, who knows? It's up in the air.
Right.
They could very well, Rey could die at the very end. Kylo could survive, become the new hero for the next films. Who knows? And Finn, I don't know. And Poe.
Mm-hmm.
Who's to say?
Who is to say? So also with the release of the behind the scenes, we got a slew of character posters.
Yes. Those are awesome. I'm talking about dissecting. I don't know if we could dissect this. I don't know if we're reading too much into these new posters. And if you guys haven't seen it,
yeah,
I'm sure they're everywhere. Yeah. But
they're all kind of torso shots.
Yeah.
And with half the faces revealed, but they're all in their clothes, but then it's kind of dyed red.
Yeah.
Each one of them.
Yeah.
So you had, and I think there were 6 of them. I think there were 6 of them, right? Mm-hmm. You had Kylo and Rey and Finn, Poe, Luke, and Leia. Mm-hmm. I think were the 6. So really cool.
I think did Rose get one?
I didn't see it.
Oh.
I only saw the 6. So
it's cool. It's good.
But what's interesting is, to me, in a way, is that Luke is holding his old lightsaber, or Anakin's lightsaber. He's not holding a different lightsaber, unless that's a different one that looks the exact same. But it's
I just gotta make the same one.
It's the same one Rey is holding.
Yeah.
In her poster, unless Rey gets a different one that kind of looks like that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I would think Luke would still have his Jedi lightsaber, right? His green one.
Yeah, we'll see.
But
maybe he
not.
gave it up.
Like I said, Finn, Poe, and then of course Kylo has got his cross guard still, and Leia's there, and yeah, it's just pretty cool, interesting posters. So we've got several. I remember Force Awakens only got 2 posters. They got that one teaser one that had Ray and Finn, and then like Han. You know what I mean? Do you remember that one?
They got those.
It was the Drew Struzan one.
Yeah.
And then they got the last one.
Well, they had the marketing banners with like everybody had like a weapon in front of their face.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Yeah.
Actually, the character posters of those. That's right. I forgot about those. So they did those as character posters.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like,
I think there was only
just
5 of. I think it was Han, Leia, and Finn and Ray. I think they were the only ones.
I can't remember if Kylo got one. Yeah, I don't know if he did. If he got his lightsaber covering his face or not. Can't remember.
Let me look it up.
It's been a while.
I don't think so.
It's been 2 years. Don't remember.
So
those are pretty. I like the Han one's cool. He had his gun and his blaster splitting.
You're right. So Kylo did get one with his mask.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. So it's 5 of those. And Finn had the lightsaber, the blue lightsaber.
All right. They kept marketing with him.
And Rey had her staff.
Yeah.
Leia had just had that green
that radar,
thing. Yeah. And then Han had his blaster. Yeah, that's right.
Cool.
Yeah, I like those posters actually. I really do. Those are good. So they did do character posters. Yeah.
Very cool.
So they added Finn.
Rogue One didn't get any though, right? They didn't get. I don't think they got any character posters.
I don't think they did either.
I don't recall.
And I don't know if. I don't think. Yeah, actually, yeah, they did.
Oh, they did.
Remember the full size?
Oh, those. Yeah.
Yeah, they
just
did.
those. Those few there. Goodness.
They did character faced all the faces of them.
Nice.
With the designs on their faces.
Yeah,
that's cool.
the schematics or whatever.
Schematics, yeah.
The Death Star or whatever it was.
So they're doing that every movie, I guess.
Cool. Very cool.
So, okay, so that's pretty much the big D23 reveals for Last Jedi.
We got a little more with the parks, Galaxy's Edge, just a little bit. Talking about the hotel.
Galaxy's Edge. Oh, the hotel, right. Which not a lot of details fully on that.
Yeah, it's a couple of the cool things. It's supposed to be very immersive. A hotel just like the park where there's like a storyline that kind of carries you through the park, and like you can have like bounty hunters chase you and stuff like Chewbacca can come find you or something. But like in the hotel, I think they say every room has a window that looks out into space.
Yes,
or something like that, which sounds awesome.
That is crazy.
I was telling Sarah, my wife, that I feel like we might have to go there every time we go to Disney. We might have to stay at the Disney hotel or the Star Wars hotel. I don't know, or maybe every other year we can stay at.
It's very expensive though.
Sure
that's the only issue. If preliminary, because that was like almost a year ago when they first announced it, and they announced that it would be very expensive.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, the way it sounds, is the most expensive resort
like
on
$1,200 a night, something like that.
Yeah, it's like $1,000 a night per person kind of thing, or whatever, or per. Well, see, that's the thing is that it's what they're making it sound like is that it's an immersive experience that you technically don't leave. Like you don't go there and then go to the parks. Like you're there and you're there experiencing everything you experience for Star Wars. So what kind of made me think that, is it in the Star Wars land? Or is it, you know what I mean? Like is it in that part? Because it talks about how you when you go to different things, like you're telling a story. Yeah. Like you're given a character.
And what you do one place affects you.
Affects how you're, exactly. Yeah. So it's like, I have no idea how they're going to do that.
That Millennium Falcon ride sounds amazing.
It does sound amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, totally.
And again, talking to my wife, saying like, that the Star Wars lands, how they're describing it's, you can spend an entire day there.
Yes.
It's nuts. Like you usually can spend an entire day at a park.
Yes.
Like you can spend a whole day at just that part. Section, just Star Wars lands.
This is inside Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, in the back there.
In the back. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you can. I mean, I could spend all day at Hollywood Studios just doing the Star Wars stuff there right now. It's just very little.
Yeah, you can go to all the other awesome rides in Hollywood Studios.
But there's restaurants there.
Oh my goodness.
Different experiences. Yeah. All those spaceships and stuff. And it's, I'm a little, not upset, but I'm a little weirded out a little bit by calling it Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
Just because I was looking forward to because they kept saying, at least maybe this wasn't official. I thought they kept saying that this was like a canon location.
It is, yeah. I think it
but
is.
what's the name of the spaceport is what I want to know. You know, like
yeah, we'll
that's what
find out.
I mean, Galaxy's Edge is just like the experience, I guess, maybe. But what is it called? Where are we at?
Yeah,
and where is it at on the map? You know, kind of thing is what I want to know.
That's gonna be awesome.
So it's very cool. So opening, I was there last year, and they kept saying May of 2019. So we'll see when it actually opens. But so as we get into Comic-Con now, Comic-Con this past weekend, again, not a lot of big presence there, but they did reveal several things. Del Rey had a huge presence there.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of stuff about the novels, books, comics, and the biggest thing that was kind of announced was that the Last Jedi novel adaptation is going to be written by Jason Fry.
Yeah.
Now, Jason Fry, has he written a new one? I thought he did.
He's
didn't
done
he?
some. Yeah, he's done some. Other books. What would he do? He does. Does he do some like encyclopedias and atlases and all that stuff? Maybe?
Okay, so he hasn't done a novel. I thought he.
I think he did. Yeah, I think he's done some other books, other novels. But let me pull it up. Weapon of the Jedi. I think. Yeah, he did all the smaller, those skinnier ones.
Oh, that's right. He did. He did. Yeah, he did. That's right.
To the journey in those books.
He did the other journey to Force Awakens. Which one did he do? He did
remember the titles of those: the Han Solo, the Leia, and the Luke one that he did.
The Luke one was the Weapon of a Jedi, I think, or something. Yeah, the Weapon of a Jedi, Luke Skywalker adventure. So, and he has a ton of credits for visual guides,
Smuggler's Run, and the Before the Awakening.
But I don't think he did all those, did he?
I think so.
No, I don't think he did all of those. He did Moving Target, maybe.
Oh, right, just Weapon of Jedi and Moving Target.
And Moving Target, the Princess Leia one. But he's got a ton of credit with episode guides. He did a ton of stuff on Clone Wars, visual guide, the battles guide, character encyclopedia for the Clone Wars.
All right.
Expanding, he just did a ton. He's been doing stuff for Star Wars like crazy. So, Jason Fry is your author for Episode 8, The Last Jedi's novelization, which will more than likely be released the day it's released in theaters or a little after. I think the novelization of Force Awakens came in January. So we'll see when this. I don't think there's a release date yet for Episode 8, the novel in a way. But
I'm just going through the list here of all the books that were released from the panels. I mean, dozens.
Dozens.
Like a lot of the small or junior novels and kid little books, companion books, coloring books, comic wise. I mean, they talked a little bit about the Mace Windu comic that we're still get Jedi of the. Well, actually, this is a different one, isn't it? No, this is not the same one. The same Mace Windu one, the Jedi of the Republic.
Yeah.
And showing some other alternate covers for the other comics out there. The Thrawn one.
Comic
adaptation.
They're doing a comic, and it's an adaptation of the novel. So it's not a different story.
Sure.
They're doing a comic adaptation. Now, we had brought that up before, whether or not they were going to do anything with the novels. Like I envisioned, we had talked about hopefully they would do animated movies.
Yeah.
But looks like they're doing the adaptation route, the comic adaptation route.
Star Wars Canto Bite.
Yes.
So the whole book about the planet itself, I think it's short stories.
I think it's just one night in the casino is what I heard them describe it.
There's 4 different authors on the tentative cover: Saladin Ahmed, Ray Carson, Mira Grant, John Jackson Miller, who we all know is an established novelist of these new slew of books, The New Dawn.
Yep.
And a lot of character kind of encyclopedias. Forces of Destiny is getting some stuff. Those little, as I said, the kid books, the golden books are getting some stuff. And a couple ones that we haven't really talked about here on the show, but have been announced since, I think was that announced in Celebration. But for the Journey of the Last Jedi, The Legends of Luke Skywalker,
yes,
short story collection, that's going to be, sounds awesome. and the Star Wars Leia, Princess of Alderaan, by Claudia Gray. Of course, Phasma book and comic, and we already knew about that. Updated versions of the Absolutely Everything You Need to Know About Star Wars.
Yes.
I want to know more about this, but then there's one called Star Wars Stormtroopers Beyond the Armor, and I didn't watch the panel, but that sounds very interesting to me.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know about
Forward
that
by John Boyega. A cool little kid book called Chewie and the Porgs. So a little tie-in story there with Chewbacca and the Porgs on Octo Island. It sounds like a band name, Chewie and the Porgs. And then we're getting some more of those. It looks like like those Jason Fry novels, those small ones. Cobalt Squadron with Rose, and that might be her sister to her left. Her name escapes me. Rose's sister, whose storyline is tied to Poe. More little kid books, and The Last Jedi, The Art of the Last Jedi, which those books are always fantastic. The Force Awakens one, the Rogue One one was fantastic, and Star Wars Last Jedi Visual Dictionary, of course, which of course Pablo Hidalgo is doing that. But yeah, I mean, it's so many things. I'm still scrolling through here. The sticker books and coloring books and activity books, and the junior novelization of The Last Jedi was revealed to be written by Michael Cogg, I think is his name, and the full novel, of course, by Jason Fry, which we already said. But you can watch the full panel on StarWars.com. They have that entire Lucasfilm Publishing New Star Wars Stories panel that you can take a look at.
Oh, yeah.
But, that was really the biggest thing over, because no film news, no movie stuff at all. That's okay. We got our behind the scenes reel finally.
What is these? Star Wars Topps trading card books? What is that?
That's a area that I've not even looked into in the slightest. The other cards, the Star Wars card game, not the game, but the Topps trading cards of Star Wars. I think that's been on forever. I think Russell I think is a little bit into that.
Really?
I don't know. I feel like he's dabbled in
Topps
that. Chad
cards?
might have even just like, I don't know if he collects them or not. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Anyways, we'll get him on the show.
I do the card trader on
card trader. That's what I was talking about.
That's
not the Topps thing.
That is top. It's
Topps.
It's Topps cards. I think it's the same cards.
I don't even know. I have no knowledge of that.
It's crazy how the digital cards are like almost as valuable as
I have to
a
look
digital
into it.
card.
That
I've actually
confuses the crap out of me.
sold a digital card
That confuses me so much. I don't understand that.
because there's rares.
Yeah. How do you get them? How do you get cards in that?
You buy packs.
You buy digital packs of cards? Jeez.
Yes. If everybody doesn't know about this,
I've always
Star Wars card trader. Yeah. See, it is Topps.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's all Topps cards. Every day, actually, if you log in every day, you get 25,000 coins, and then you go to your store and you just buy packs. You have these packs.
That's so funny.
And you buy. Oh, actually, I like getting these fan choice packs, so I'll just get these. So you buy these packs. I'm showing Casey how to do this. It literally opens it up, and then there's your cards. So blues, just like Destiny in a sense.
Yeah.
Blues are uncommons. Whites are commons. And then you got, these are all commons. And then that's only 5 cards. So
different characters from all areas of all sagas.
now the inserts are the big ones. So if you find one like this, so this one has, I think this used to have guarantees, but now it doesn't. So, so you want to find guaranteed inserts. Here, I'll just get another one of these just to show you. Sorry, taking time.
That's all right.
Doing card trader is just, it's really cool. It's basically, it's digital cards, So I'll show you my cards there real fast. So these are insert cards I got. It says sold out. So you can't get it anymore.
So weird.
So I have this Han Solo one from The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Now it tells you there's only 64 of them.
They've made 64 digital
copies of this. Now, if I can go on eBay and I could list this card and someone will buy it from me. So what happens is if someone buys it from you, then you become friends with them and then you just trade it to them for something else.
Wow.
But they pay you by PayPal, obviously. So that's my most rare card, I think, because I got this one here that's like Phantom Menace, that tells you there's 100 of those. I have 100. I have one of 100 of those. So these are all my inserts that I have that I've collected. And some of them are not that rare, right? So if this Maz one, like there's that they didn't for some reason they didn't put a number on those. This one's actually I got 2 of those. And see, there's 5,000 of those, right? Anyway, yeah, me and Chad trade cards on here all the time because for some reason for a while there it was like it was there was easy ways to collect, like you had your green cards that were a little rare, your reds, so you would trade to get all those. But now I feel like the last year since Star Wars, since the card trader has been popular, they've been coming out with so many cards and packs, you just can't keep up with it unless you're and getting 25,000 a day for free, 25,000 coins, you get it for free. So log in but that doesn't get you that much, right? You can maybe buy a couple those regular packs, but to get the big packs with the inserts in them, they cost more. So you will pour some money into it if you actually want to, collect. Yeah. But it's cool. I mean, it's just digital cards.
Yeah. I just had no idea.
I mean, it's like people with comics, right? They'd rather have it kind of in their hand. I can understand buying actual cards.
Right.
But that one is, I mean, that's digital is where it's going, everything. So, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat.
Very nice.
You should definitely get on it though. Because I can start trading you some cards. Of course, I'm deconning him 2-1 on that.
Yeah.
So if anyone want to trade some cards with me, it tells you how many cards you got too. I've got 10,075 cards.
Jeez.
So trust me, it doesn't take that long to get that. But I've got one. See, I haven't bought anything in a while, so I have 1.4 million credits.
Nice.
I've just been sitting there because what happens is if you go every day,
just log in, just open.
All you do is open the app up every day. You get 25,000 credits. Now, if you miss a day, it sets you back to 1. Like, see, I just went to 1 there because I actually haven't been doing it the past couple of days. But if you do 7 consecutive days, the 7th day you get 50,000.
Man.
So in 7 days you get, what is that? 25 times 6 is 150,000, 200,000 credits in 7 days if you don't use them. So anyway, card trader, good. Yeah, that's a good thing you brought that up because it is a big Star Wars thing. It's what a lot of fans are doing now, and me and Chad and Charles have been the ones really kind of trading cards. Russ, I don't know. I didn't know if he was on. Yeah, I think he is on there. Yeah, he's on there. He's on there because we traded some. Anyway. A little tangent, but not so, because that's a good thing. Casey, I'm surprised you don't have it. You need to download it. It's free.
I always heard
Get on there. It's completely free. You don't have to spend a dime.
Yeah.
It's completely free. Get on there. You get 25,000 credits every day. Start buying some cards, and you never know what you get.
I'll have to look into it. Definitely.
So we went through all the books at Comic-Con. Good stuff there. I actually was surprised I didn't see an updated... We did see an updated Everything You Need to Know, but not an updated encyclopedia. I want to know what the actual Ultimate Encyclopedia is.
Well, yeah, the thing is, we have the Ultimate one that we used to read from, and we have the Absolutely Everything We Need to Know. So, last fall?
What is the last one? Last full encyclopedia?
There was the one that came out. It was just the Star Wars Encyclopedia that Pablo Hidalgo wrote, and I saw it at Barnes & Noble. I don't know if it came out this year or end of last year, though. I feel like it was more recent than... I feel like it's this year when it came out. It's like $20 I think, at Barnes & Noble. I don't know why I haven't bought it yet, but...
Well, I've been holding off just because I knew they would update it.
Yeah.
I'm trying
I feel like that's updated through Rogue One.
But is there a definitive encyclopedia, or is it like because I know they have a character encyclopedia and a vehicle encyclopedia, but
like for a while that Ultimate one, the Ultimate Star Wars, to me was the...
See, what is this one? This says is this new, or when was that?
Complete visual. That looks older. That looks older. No, it was just called. Let me just see, the Star Wars Encyclopedia.
Because this one is the visual encyclopedia here.
I don't know if it was called visual.
Yeah, this is old. This is 2006.
Because that's the one that I saw on Reddit. Someone was quoting from that one. That one looks like it.
That's the most recent one?
That looks like the most recent one right there. The Ultimate Visual.
April 2017. Here we go.
Visual?
It's a visual encyclopedia.
Yeah, so
April
this year.
2016. Yep. Now, this wasn't Pablo, though.
Oh, wasn't?
This is Adam Bray, Cole Horton, and Trisha Barr. So...
Does it show any Rogue One on the front? It should be. If it came out in April, it definitely should have.
It should have some Rogue
stuff,
One in there.
I think.
And study the geography of Rogue One. Yeah, so this is the most recent visual encyclopedia, and I need to own this.
And that's where it is. Like, I want to get that. I want to read the entire thing, because when we talked about our previous episode, like it was 2 episodes ago, when we talked about the Pablo Hidalgo tweeting controversy there about the canon, his idea of what's canon, what's not canon. You know, I want to read this encyclopedia, because basically, to me, then, if there's anything that is absolutely definitive, that you can't say, well, it could have happened this way or it could have happened this way. No, the most definitive thing is this encyclopedia to me. You know, if this encyclopedia is generally describing events like Sidious fought Yoda in the Senate chamber, you know, and if it didn't go into any details, then you could speculate what actually happened. You know, like how he described the Han Solo thing, how 2 guys walked into a bar, 1 guy got shot and died, basically. I don't know. So it's, I definitely need to get this. Definitely need to read it. Must know everything.
Yeah, that's the one thing. So we've been going through Ultimate Star Wars, which...
It goes into just each...
I don't know how different that is than this, really. I mean...
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's more general, because the Ultimate gets pretty detailed into the biographies of characters and weapons and vehicles and planets. Like, it gets pretty into it.
And that was the first one after the canon was established. That was really kind of... So now this one is April, so this is only a few months old. So yeah, I definitely need to get that. I'll look for that when I go get Inferno Squad.
Oh yeah, nice segue.
Which Inferno Squad was a huge presence, obviously, there at Comic-Con. Yeah. Janina Gavankar was there, touting as best she could. She's been doing a great job over the last few months, just really embracing this whole role. Yeah. And so Battlefront 2 Inferno Squad is released this Tuesday, July 25th. I've already got the audiobook pre-ordered. I'm going to be waking up and driving to work listening to that first thing Tuesday morning. The book is out then. I'm going to run and go grab the book as well. I'm going to look for that encyclopedia. Hopefully that's out in the bookstore. If not, of course, I'll just get it on Amazon, whatever. But yeah, I'm ready. When are you gonna pick it up?
I don't know. I'll have to see. Because the hardbacks are so expensive. You know, paperback is so much cheaper. I wish they both just came out at the same time.
I know it takes a long time for that to come out, doesn't it?
It does. It usually takes months.
Yeah,
I might do the audiobook first for this one, probably. My wife just started a trial Amazon Prime, so I may get her to do like the trial Audible, so I can get the free credit, whatever. But yeah, I'll probably do the audiobook for Battlefront 2.
Yeah. Dania is actually the voice.
She voices it
of the narration of
that, and that's why I'd rather do the audiobook, because she's the voice of it, and just the general nature of audiobooks without the sounds. And this is a war novel, very much like the first Battlefront audiobook, which I listened to, was amazing to listen to because it's battles sounds.
Yes,
you hear the gunfire,
one.
You hear all the chaos of of a war in the audiobook, and so I really want to experience that with this audiobook.
I will say that I will offer my experience with audible.com, because I was doing, and I say was because I've kind of paused my membership in a sense, because unless you're reading a ton of books, I'm not sure it's quite worth it.
Audible?
Yeah. Because me just doing Star Wars books, I was going through basically, so you get, for $15 a month, you get 1 credit a month.
Right.
1 credit gets you any book, right? No matter what whatever it costs. Now, also, if you're a member, you get other books that you buy for cash cheaper, right? So instead of a $30 book, it's maybe $20.
30% discount.
It's usually like
right?
30 to 40%
like
off,
that.
right? So you say, like, again, if you're reading like 4 or 5 books a month,
Yeah.
I can totally see it being valuable because you get money off and all this stuff. But for me, I'm going through 1 book a month, if that, depending on how consistent I'm listening. Well, I was noticing as I was going through all these aftermaths and when Inferno Squad came out, I went to pre-order it. I had 4 credits because I had 4 months built up that I never really, right? So I'm like, so I basically, I don't know. So I paid for all these credits and then I wasn't really using them, right?
Yeah.
So what I did was I went ahead and got the remaining books I haven't bought yet, which are, I bought Battlefront, the first Battlefront, Twilight Company, Rebel Rising, and Lord of the Sith. So those are the only 3 books left besides Inferno Squad that I need to listen to.
Yeah.
Everything else I'll listen to. So I went in and got those, used all my credits, and then paused my membership. Pause meaning I basically paused it for 90 days. I have 90 days to reactivate it, or after 90 days it resumes, and then blah, 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 or I can cancel it by then. Anyway, so what I'm getting at is that Audible's great. I truly push people that can't really get through it, through the reading the books. Listening to a Star Wars audiobook is unbelievable. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Especially like some of these, like I felt like Thrawn was awesome because you can hear Thrawn talk,
That's really cool.
I got to say that obviously the Aftermath books are incredible. But then, again, there's some, but I felt like it was the book, some weren't that great.
Yeah.
But some were really better than others. So, and I was telling Casey, I am going to put out a little article on our website about ranking the books because I'm through so many of them now. I feel like I can actually start ranking them. And this kind of segues into what I wanted to do, which was my quick, full, spoiler-free review of Dark Disciple, because I finished that up. And audio-wise, and honestly book-wise, this book, to me, is number 2 on my list.
That's crazy.
Behind Thrawn.
Crazy surprise.
It was awesome.
Didn't expect that going into it.
No.
Really? Yeah,
no,
cool.
not at all. I went in actually thinking I was going to not struggle through it, but like just I wanted to get through it because I took a chance because I was like, Inferno Squad's only like 10 days away. I need to get through this book. Well, thankfully I had a big trip. I drove down to Nashville, which is like 3 hours away. So I listened to a lot on the way there and back. And so I got through it pretty fast, but I got through it also fast because I wanted to. I was hooked, man. It wasn't like any of the, like every chapter just kept moving the story forward, and it was very, very relevant. I could have, I don't know, it actually made me think it was very hard to imagine this as, because if you look at the chronological order of the Clone Wars, this technically was 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't you say that?
Yeah, and I mean, if you go to StarWars.com, they have the chronological list of the Clone Wars, and it's at the end, so it's split. The first 4 parts.
Yeah, in between it is
Son of
Dathomir. The Dark Horse comic.
Yeah.
The last Dark Horse comic that was technically canon.
Yeah. And
about Darth Maul.
And they place Dark Disciple at the very end of the chronological list. The end, the last part of it. So
yeah. And I'm not sure why. I got to think about why they did that because Maul's not in this book at all. But Dooku is a lot. So maybe what happened with Dooku during Dathomir, I can't remember. But anyway, I got to say that Christy Golden, who I wanted to read it because she did Inferno Squad. So I wanted to get her writing style and listen and just, get her sense of writing. She's great. It was great. I have a unbelievable respect and love for Asajj Ventress now that I never thought I would have attained. This book again, I really want to talk about it a lot as far as like what happens in it, but I just want to push everybody that can to go read this book, because especially if you're a fan of Clone Wars, this is you're right back into it. You're right back into what Filoni's doing with the Clone Wars, what he did with it, and it's great that you still get. It's not just about Asajj. There's a lot of going on in it. There's a lot of Obi-Wan in it. There's a lot of Anakin in it. There's still some. This is after Ahsoka left, so there's no Ahsoka. But then you got your new guy, Quinlan Vos.
Yeah.
Master Quinlan Vos, who I didn't really know much. He was apparently an EU character, I think, right?
Yeah, he was.
I think he was a pretty heavy EU character that they kind of mentioned in episode 3.
They did.
To kind of make him canon. And then this is obviously about Quinlan Vos and Asajj. Now, I mentioned on the last episode about, I remember I asked you, who do you think was, when you think about it, who is Dark Disciple?
Yeah.
And it is not Asajj. It is actually Quinlan Vos. And because the one thing I want to mention, I got to mention this. Oh man, can I mention this? This is, I don't know if I can.
Don't worry about me. It's say spoiler. I mean, I don't mind if it's spoiling. But.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so a little spoiler. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
But, well, obviously it's not, because Vos is mentioned in episode 3, right? So he survives. I mean, that's just flat out. He survives. But what's crazy that you learn in this thing, and I kind of want to hit on this a little bit, is that what's so great about Asajj in this book and Vos, what happens to them is that the story, and this isn't a spoiler, but the story is that they are commissioned by the council. At least Vos is commissioned by the council to kill Dooku. Now, people may say, well, what's the big deal? Well, the council doesn't assassinate anybody, right? Of course, that they battle them and they kill them. That's part of the battle, right? But the flat out issue an order of assassination is not the way of the Jedi.
Yes, yeah. Right.
So, of course, commissioning Vos to do this is already teetering on the wrong, and honestly teetering on the dark side. So, and then of course they have this bright idea that they'll get Asajj, who wants to kill Dooku, to accompany Vos. But then Vos, she feels like Vos is no match for Dooku, so she starts training him in the ways of the dark side.
Yeah, that's definitely.
And he goes
surprising.
down that path. And again, spoilers, just in case you want to skip. You want to skip about 2 or 3 minutes here. So I'll let you go do that. But Vos turns to the dark side.
Yeah.
And it's actually Ventress that brings him back. And so what's so incredible about this story is that it's, this whole time we know Ventress as a dark side user. She's not full Sith.
Right.
But she's just, in the dark side. And it even says in there that the Night Sisters are dark side users.
Right.
So and then all of a sudden it's like she's doing this. They obviously have feelings for each other, Vos and Asajj. So it's crazy to think that it's the roles reversed, where she is a light side user and he's a dark side user. And the dynamic with that is hearing her, how she was trying to get away from it all. And it was funny because it sounded exactly like, if you can imagine, it sounded like Padme speaking to Anakin about, let's just leave all of this.
Yeah.
You don't need to do this. It's the exact same conversation. And it was just so good, so crazy to hear Asajj be this character, be this person. And I'm telling you, I fully bought into it. She is a phenomenal character. And it's amazing in the novel like this. Again, I don't know how much you could have done a lot of that in the Clone Wars
Unless you
episodes.
spent 8 to 10 episodes or however,
You have to. 8 episodes is almost pretty much a third of the season. So I'm not sure how they would have done that. But it definitely there's a lot of story there because what happens is in order to train Voss, they went on a ton of missions throughout the first part of the book, as a bounty hunter, training him. It's awesome because Boba Fett's in it. Bosk is in it.
Sweet.
It's that whole group that was in that one episode with her.
Like Aura Singh?
Aura Singh wasn't. She wasn't. It was that ponytailed one.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name, but there was like 4 of them. Bosk, Boba Fett, 2 other ones. But Asajj asked for help, and then they end up being it. It's really cool.
Very nice.
Anyway, so that's my review. One of the best books out there.
I'm more excited to read it now.
Yes.
Definitely. And I was looking up Quinlan Voss a little bit, kind of refresh my memory on his origin. Yeah, he was created. Quinlan Voss, the character, was created by John Ostrander, who did a lot of the Star Wars Legends comics back in the day. But he created Quinlan Voss based off a background character he saw in Episode 1. So I'm going to show you the image. So this is just an enlarged screenshot.
Oh, yeah.
I remember hearing about that. I forgot. I never actually saw the scene that he was supposed to be in. But in the background scene on Tatooine, Mos Espa, Anakin and Jar Jar are talking to each other, and just the background character sitting at a table.
The part, right?
Yeah, and you see a character sitting on a table in the back. Like here's the actual full. There's the full frame.
Yes,
but just at a table, you see this guy with the big kind of mane of hair with that yellow stripe down going across his face. And that's, I guess John Ostrander saw him in the background. I was like, oh, that's an interesting looking character. So let's make him into somebody important. Then George Lucas saw what he did in the comics. Like, oh my gosh, I like that.
So he did a comic with him?
Yeah, that's Quinlan Voss was started off in the comics.
At that point, they weren't canon.
Right, it was all Legends. This is all EU.
It was all Legends, yeah.
Before even Legends was thing. This is years ago. But
yes.
obviously early 2000s.
Yes.
And so then George Lucas saw that, how this character was created based off what he already, just a background character. So then, yes, he incorporated his mentioning. He just mentioning into the film, but then we got some episodes of Clone Wars with him. Clone Wars was a few episodes in the Clone Wars.
Yes.
And then, Dark Disciple, and here we are.
But is that Quinlan Voss?
That's retconned, I think, now to be Quinlan Voss.
It is?
I think so. I
so
saw
he
it
was
on Wikipedia.
So Qui-Gon would have known that's him, though, right?
Perhaps.
If he didn't reveal, unless he was like undercover or something like that, maybe. Or
yeah, let me. I'm pretty sure I'm on the canon page of Wikipedia here.
It'll say canon at the top.
Well, the mobile version doesn't do that, but I have to go to the desktop version. That's canon, the canon version, canon page. So it seems like
he's in episode 1 now.
This mobile crap is bothering me, but I'm trying to find if it even talks about if there's even a story of him being there, but doesn't seem like it. It might be an untouched story now.
Could be a guy just looks like him.
Well, I think it's him. I mean, it says here that it's retconned to be him in the appearances section on Wikipedia. That's where I went scrolling to the appearances, and it says Star Wars Episode 1, first appearance, retcon.
Oh.
Then he was in Star Wars Galactic Defense, which was, what is that? As a mobile game, I think. And then a few episodes of Clone Wars. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I don't even remember the Clone Wars. Oh, yeah, I think I do now. I think I do now.
I vaguely do because I've only seen most of those episodes once. I just remember that he was in it. And however, I'm actually, like today, I'm going to start going through all the Clone Wars chronologically.
Yes.
So I went through, using that list, I did the first 2 chronological episodes. So the first one, if you guys aren't even aware of how out of order it is.
Yeah.
So the first episode of the Clone Wars that occurs chronologically is actually season 2, episode 16. It's the whole Christophsis arc, or the Separatists fighting the Republic outside of Christophsis, the planet. And so the first one is season 2, episode 16. Then it moves to season 1, episode 16, still Christophsis, and then it goes to the movie, because the beginning of the movie, The Clone Wars, ends the Christophsis War. essentially. And so I watched the first episodes, and I watched the Clone Wars movie today. And that movie was, a lot better than I remembered it being, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe I didn't like it just because it was the introduction of Ahsoka, and I was so hesitant about her back then, and she had all these nicknames for everybody, like Sky Guy and R2, and Snips, and so maybe I was just thrown off about that. But when I was watching, it was like it's great. It feels like Clone Wars, and it's a good story. The music sometimes wasn't quite there. I felt like it was kind of off a little bit, but the graphics was fine, and the voice acting was pretty great because you had Christopher Lee and Sam Jackson there, and then for a little bit, and then of course the Matt Lanter, James Arnold Taylor, Ashley Eckstein, everybody was there, and it's phenomenal. So no, definitely everybody. If you haven't seen it even, or if you've only seen it once, go watch it again. The Clone Wars film, which is technically the first solo standalone Star Wars movie. Everybody thinks Rogue One is the first one.
Correct.
But it's actually Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
It is. Yeah, although it's animated.
Yeah, but still.
Yes.
Very good.
So last thing I'll mention is, because I do want to go ahead and mention it because I want your opinion on this. Because, again, spoiler for Dark Disciple. Now, it's not spoiler because technically it's been out for a while, and I think a lot of you knew it. I didn't know it until I read it. But again, spoiler warning. But Asajj Ventress dies in Dark Disciple.
Yeah, I don't know how she dies, though.
You don't know how she dies, which is pretty significant, so I won't say that. But she does die. Now, is that what you talk about? Major characters. Well, you say major characters. Do major character will not die or will they die in a novel?
Yeah.
Is Asajj Ventress considered a major character?
I think definitely in the grand scheme of Star Wars, I think she is a major character. Definitely. She's been in so many stories already, all across the Clone Wars. Her time span in the saga so far is only like 2 or 3 years. 3 years, the span of the Clone Wars.
Correct.
So time-wise, not a whole lot, but we've just gotten so many stories of her. And through Clone Wars and through the novel, based off what you just said, we know so much about her, and we've grown to really, really enjoy her and like her as a character. So that is interesting because she was introduced in Clone Wars, so not the general public, I would say, really knows about her. Who, if you just watch the movies, you obviously don't know about her.
Correct.
But she was introduced in the Clone Wars. She was her death was in a novel, and that's pretty significant. Absolutely. Now, I don't know if I would only if that's okay if you can do that because that was a character that was introduced in the Clone Wars, and we never saw her in a movie. So therefore, I feel like that is more allowable for a book to deal with that. Although again, the book was a Clone Wars story adapted.
It was supposed
to
happen in
so
the Clone Wars.
We would have saw it in the show.
We would have.
So I think there's some exceptions here with that. But no, definitely. It's definitely a challenge to that kind of thought that I had, where major characters will not face severe story changes, story arcs, or like big moments, because the general audience wouldn't experience that because most of them don't.
And what's crazy is that I would not have considered her a major character until I read this book. Because you're right, because at the end of what we saw of her in the Clone Wars episodes was that she was a bounty hunter. She was kind of on her own.
Yeah.
Which bounty hunters aren't as significant, right, as major. They're just out there. They're Boba Fett kind of being the most prominent, but that's because he's just popular. But he doesn't really have that much story yet.
No.
Right? He's a clone, and he wasn't manipulated, so he's just a normal kid. But it's like you don't know his full story yet from Clone Wars through to when we see him in like the original trilogy, right? You don't really know much about him yet. Now, will he show up in Rebels and all this stuff? Those questions, who knows? I kind of feel like we will get him in Rebels at least a little bit, but there was supposed to be more story with him, right? With Cad Bane.
Yeah.
getting his armor and stuff that we didn't get that I know Filoni, God, I wish he would have been able to do. But with Asajj, this truly wraps her story up. And, and people don't remember, I think it was talked about in the Clone Wars episodes, but she was a Padawan. She was in the Jedi Order. And I think she left or got kicked out. I don't think she got kicked out. I can't remember what exactly happened, why she got turned away.
You want Aura Singh?
No, I'm talking about Asajj.
I thought Aura Singh was the one that was in it.
No, Asajj was Asajj was a Padawan.
Yeah.
And was a Jedi Padawan, never made it to a Jedi Knight, obviously, but she got somehow refused or got out, and then that's when she went back to the Night Sisters and all that stuff, and then eventually Dooku took her and trained her and became an assassin. Did you see that thing on? I forgot that online too. They had that outline. Did you see that outline thing?
I don't think so.
Shoot, I got to pull that up because that was really interesting. I wanted to show that. This graphic. So if you go to StarWars.com, there's this article called "How Star Wars Super Graphic." So it's a book that's coming out called the Super Graphic, a visual guide to this galaxy far, far away, and it's got these little diagrams in it.
Interesting.
Credits rule everything. So it's got like what credits can buy you. Here's the fastest ships in the galaxy. So it's all these visual things. Now the craziest thing was Master Class. So there is a picture of somebody, for example, Darth Sidious, and it has arrows that says who he killed and who his apprentice is, and then other is like siblings, and then kills via Order 66. So it has all these Order 66 ones, right? So like Plo Koon's Order 66, Ki-Adi-Mundi's Order 66, Aya Sakura's Order 66. But here, see, this is the crazy thing. So it says right here, Asajj Ventress. So her master was that guy, Kai Narek. So he's the Jedi that
started
training her. But then Dooku has apprentice, is also Asajj. So she was in the light side, and it doesn't have. I mean, it's got Quinlan Vos. So they got lovers, Quinlan Vos. Now Thom, his master, he's brought up in this because that's significant. Because you see the red line.
Yeah.
So there's a whole story there. That I'm not even revealing, but there's a whole story there with Asajj, Quinlan, the Jedi Order. Because again, that shows you how did the Jedi fail her when she was young? You know what I mean? They could have had her as an ally versus having her fall. Jeez. I mean, it's just, she's become a very significant character in my mind. Being in that, just in the Clone Wars series, she's very significant. So,
wow.
I suggest, I can't stress enough how good Dark Disciple is, and everybody should go see it or go read it. Listen to it. Again, done by Mark Thompson, who is phenomenal. Mark Thompson is like, we're doing our best to get him on the show, but he did the Aftermath books, did Thrawn, did Dark Disciple. I mean, he's been great. He's great. All right, so
I wonder if we'll get that, talking about the Boba Fett stuff, because we saw an animatic Celebration.
I know.
We'll get that story, that arc as a animatic.
I don't know. I'm not sure. All I can think of is they're doing something with Boba Fett in a movie, because there's no Boba Fett stories yet.
Yep.
And that's like, if not one of the most popular characters in Star Wars.
Absolutely.
So I don't know what. I don't know what they're doing with that.
They're holding on to him and holding on to Obi-Wan.
It's exactly right. Close. That's exactly right. All right, that'll do it for this week's episode. Thanks for listening in. We'll be back next week to hit up all the Star Wars news. Hopefully, we start getting some more movie news here coming out. It's been kind of dead. Of course, Ron Howard's putting out a ton of images.
Yeah, I mean, a few images since we've recorded our last show. Just really quick, I'll hit on it. One was showing Chewbacca watching a playback of a scene that they just shot, and if you look closely at that monitor Chewbacca's the actor is looking at, it looks very much like Chewie is embracing another Wookiee. People have been talking about this online, but it looks like it could be his wife, Mala, which we know exists in canon, and Chewie has a son in canon. So this could be the very first canon appearance of Chewbacca's wife, which is very exciting.
Very.
And then 2 other photos that Ron Howard released were of Lando, Donald Glover as Lando in the cool yellow jacket, which looks a lot like Luke's yellow jacket. So he looks like he's still stealing people's clothes.
Yep.
But they're both of him and the Falcon. So he flies the Falcon. Either he's possessing it at this point, which I would assume he is, or
probably.
Yeah. So maybe, yeah. I'm excited to see how it's all going to tie together. And the second shot with Lando is visually really cool because it was mostly focusing on how they're practically showing hyperspace.
Yeah,
it's like a cool little effect they're having there, and tiny little monitor in the center of the picture was you could make out that it's Lando and the Falcon.
Yeah,
very exciting,
awesome.
Very very exciting.
So more of that coming soon, and hopefully we get some more. I don't anticipate getting much more of The Last Jedi up until a new trailer.
Yeah.
There's not a. I think there's the next Marvel movie is Thor, which is November. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure we get something before then. Maybe sometime in September when
September, October, fall.
Force Friday is in September. Who knows? There's stuff coming in the next couple of months that we probably get another trailer. But to be honest, I don't think I actually need anything.
I don't need anything.
I really don't need anything more.
No, I'm good.
I'm ready for it.
I got plenty of other things to keep me occupied with Star Wars.
And last thing for us is obviously go to our YouTube channel and follow our journey to the Last Jedi. We are every month putting out a new trailer and a commentary of the films. It's almost August, so look for the episode 3 trailer and commentary with special guest Anthony Guglielmi, our buddy that we work with. He sat in on episode 3. We already recorded Rogue One. Mm-hmm. It's the first time we actually did a Rogue One commentary, which is pretty interesting. But that will be coming out in September, along with episode 4, A New Hope. We're going to pair them together in September. Of course, October will bring Empire. November will be Return. Then episode 7 will be December, right before the movie comes out. So look for those coming every month. Go to our YouTube channel. Go to InsideTheForce.com for everything else, all of our shows, all of our podcasts, everything we need there, and all of our social media is there. So thanks for listening, guys. He's Kryptonian1138. I'm D Cottingham21 on Twitter. Check us out next week for Case Cooley.
Master Kenobi, you disappoint me. You're to hold you in such high esteem. Surely you can do better. I don't know if I've done a Dooku quote before. But,
I don't know if you have either.
Watching the Clone Wars movie today. Christopher Lee's really good, man. It's just he's a good villain.
So anyway, you went through the first 2 episodes and then the movie, right?
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Then I'm on to the next one's like.
And it's cool because Dark Disciple. There's some stuff that happens on Christophsis.
Oh, cool.
Which is where the movie takes place.
Movie and those 2 first episodes.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you guys, or you'll hear us next week.
Yep.
He's Casey.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm Dave. May the Force be with you.
Thank you for listening to Inside the Force, a Star Wars podcast hosted by David Cottingham and Casey Cooley. For more shows, additional content, articles, and the latest Star Wars news, please visit InsideTheForce.com. Inside the Force. For the Force within all of us.